Hey everyone, I hope you are having a great time. Today I would like to share my experience of using SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacle speakers that I've been using in my system for a little over 2 months now. These retail for 5,000 US dollars a pair of them. Each of the speakers weigh like almost like 97 pounds, so moving around is a little tough, but I was able to handle it myself without help. For the setup wise, I'm using them in 9 feet apart from tweeter to tweeter, 3 feet behind the speakers. And I do have bass absorption treatments on each corner, one on this side and one on that corner, as well as on this side, treated in this room. So I don't have any overpowering bass problem. So this room is 26 by 16. And I sit like little over like 10, 12 feet away. So my head position will be around like 14 feet from the center of the speakers when I'm listening. So that is my setup, and I don't use any toe in or not major toe in at all, just a slight toe in. First of all, objectively saying, this speaker is total transparent sounding speakers. No matter what you pair with, it will totally redeliver the sound that it received. So I try a few different amps, such as a Schiit Audio Freya Plus tube preamplifier staged with AGR2 power amplifier, as well as Gallian Audio TSC75 and Top-in B100 Class D mono blocks using VM Ultra. All of them gives me very good sound quality. But when I'm listening or watching movies or enjoying live recorded concert and those kind of experience that I'm using in my system, what I like is I tend to like pairing with the AGR2 Class A mono blocks with these. Although they don't sound totally powerful with rock music or watching movies, but watching regular dramas or listening to jazz concert or jazz music is totally fine, and very good bass quality that it can provide even with AGR2 that I've been using. So Gallian Audio TSC75 is very good as well, but it's also transparent sounding amp. So pairing with this SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacle doesn't suit well for my taste. It sounded a little too flat. That is more to do with synergy than the actual power of the amplifiers. The Top-in B100 Class D monoblock, same thing, but I do play around with that PEQ in VM Ultra. I made it sound much nicer and better than overall price would suggest. So when I was pairing with this Musicshare X9 300B 8-watt power output tube amplifier, right, that setup sounded very nice and rich and well produced notes in overall frequency range, but bass quality got loosed out because bass sounded nice, but it's not in total control that I would love to hear. So that's a little thing that I like to mention if you are thinking of using with low power tube amplifiers. But if you're gonna use with 20 watts, 30 watts KD88 amp, it should not have issue like that. So that is the one thing that I like to mention it to you. This one can get down to 20, mid 20, like 24, 25 hertz in my room, as you will notice in my measurement graph that I did. This is in-room response measurement in my room. So one from 3 feet away and one from my listening position. Precisely 10 feet away. So that's how I have to measure because I have my seat there. So 10 feet away, as you will see it here, it tends to have a little bit of more pronounced in mid-range area. So that's where you get tiny bit of brightness in some of the music. Other than that, overall performance and sound reproduction is neutral, transparent, and dynamic, yet it has nice refinement to it. It's not going to be totally laid back and refined sounding kind of speaker. This is a kind of speaker that totally brings everything back out to you as it recorded, as the equipment that you pair with it. So that's how it's going to go. In my system, I'm using Gusted Audio X30 DAC, serving from Sony Music server with USB cable, and using my Accuphase E4000 amplifier, as well as Musician X9 300B tube amp, which is only 8 watts of power output. And cabinet is time-aligned design and taper corner to reduce the acoustic interference in the room. So that is very important feature of these towers. And it use force balance bass driver, give you better bass response, cleaner as well. Biggest highlight of this Pinnacle Tower speakers. For the tweeter, it uses diamond-coated metal dome tweeter, 1 inch in size. It has a nice mesh that protecting it. So that is a big upgrade from the standard metal aluminum dome tweeters that they've been using in the past. In the past, I had the Ultra Bookshare speaker. I had Ultra Tower speakers. Ultra Towers that they had before has a thunderous bass quality that it can put out. This one can do similar but in better way, which is more refined and cleaner and more precise bass quality that this one can put out. So mid-range can get tiny bit of forwardness time to time. So that's where I get a little bit of tiny bit of brightness depending on the music that I'm listening to. When I was listening to tracks such as Led Zeppelin, I Can't Quit You, Baby. So that track, John Bonham, drum strikes and drum rolls and everything is so realistic, so dynamic and impressive, right? So when I was listening around 80 dB range, almost to like, wow, I just want to crank it up because I want to feel like live environment, the chest thumping bass quality with very nice guitar solo from Jimmy Page and everything combined. I was in my own zone with listening and enjoying Led Zeppelin music in live kind of feeling. So really impressive sound reproduction out of this Ultra Evolution Pinnacle Towers. That track, I was listening over and over again in different loudness level. Low level listening like 50 dB range and high level listening like 85, 90 dB range. No matter what level I'm listening to, is very impressive. Clarity, detail, and precision is still very well produced, as well as articulate bass quality even in low level listening. So I was thoroughly impressed in that performance, right? Speakers that I had in this price point, such as KEF R11 speakers that I had, or even regular R11 or Mater, right? So it doesn't matter what those R11s are, overall bass performance is about the same. They only improve in mid-range and highs in those speakers. So for the Mater's version. So this one totally smoked them in every regard. But KEF will tend to give you a little bit more precise and a little bit more refined sound in upper mid-range area. This SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacle will give you most dynamic attack and immediacy with thunderous and naturally engaging bass quality. That kind of performance that totally shows. And this one is cheaper than KEF-R series. So benefit of MDM design is to get best stereo image and drivers integration. So that's totally shows and we can hear and we can enjoy listening to it. So that tweeter sits about almost same level as my JBL, this L100 Classic 75th speaker. Even that, right, it has stereo image like right here on the top of my diffuser, kind of voices and vocals and everything will come out there. So to get there, I had to play around a little bit, positioning, adjusting. In the end, I end up only using exactly 9 feet apart from tweeter to tweeter, setting these speakers up and slide toe in. That's it. Low level listening to high level listening. I can go forward, I can tilt my head back, stereo image is still there and nice and precise right up there, and very nice quality as well with good refinement to it. So that is very impressive for this size of the speaker without using coaxial drivers. And plus the drivers integration is very good. None of the driver call themselves. Nicely blended with tremendous soundscape and big scale sound that it can produce. Some of the more expensive speakers can even do that. So in my opinion, this SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacle is very strong and very good offering for the price that they are asking for. To me, if I want to improve this Ultra Pinnacle, Evolution Pinnacle speakers, the cabinet is slightly on a weaker side. Other than that, there is no weak link that I can notice. Only another downside is it needs good amount of power, giving 88 dB sensitivity of the speakers, and this one is rated for 6 ohm. But also power handling is very good, probably one of the best out there. Louder you play, better it gets in terms of attack and the thunderous bass quality. So I mean, no matter what loudness level you're listening to, this will get the job done in very good manner in musicality and dynamic attack. When I'm using Dina Fripp's Aries 15th, upper mid-range and mid-range brightness is totally reduced compared to Delta Sigma DAC. Personally, I would go with either AKM or like R2 or DACs in general. This Ultra Evolution Pinnacles can get down to low 20 Hertz, right? 24, 25 Hertz. But if you want to get more down low performance, SVS just released the 17-inch Ultra R series. The seal type is $2,500 and ported type is $3,000 each. So they will get down to lowest of the region for the size that they are offering. And plus, those subwoofers come with app that you can control with parametric equalizer to blend it really well with pairing speakers. So those are good options to have if you want to go all out, lowest bass quality out of your system. But if you only listen to jazz or blues or most of the modern music or pop or rock or any type of music in general, basically this one will totally fine even without touching the subwoofer. So I don't feel like I need a sub, right? So that's depending on your personal taste and preference as well. In my opinion, this SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacle is no-brainer in this price point. If you are looking for $5,000 pair of tower speakers that can give you very good bass quality with very nice dynamic sounding and good refinement in sound quality. As I mentioned before, it can get tiny bit of brightness time to time with some recording. So that is most of the transparent speaker will do. So price is great for the sound that we are getting and performance that we are receiving, like compared to many others in this price point. So this is one of the best buy right now in $5,000 price range, or even pushing up to $8,000 price range. This one is very first one that you should audition. That is my experience that I like to share with you. Thank you for watching and happy listening.
The sky, it's the color of love. There must have been an angel by my side. Something heavenly came down from above. He led me to you. He led me to you. He
So great. On the bass, Mr. Torigoe Keisuke-san. On the guitar, Orima Yosuke-san. Yeah.